Hello and welcome to Be Happy Denmark. Here we provide information about narcissism. Are narcissists smarter than normal people? The answer is no. They suffer from brain defects, have limited skills and are in really deep water when it comes to decoding the social rules. But if they are not intellectual masterminds and not smarter than normal people, how do they manage to get the upper hand in so many situations? I will give you the answer in this video. In today's video, we will take a deep dive into narcissistic methods, specifically how they can manipulate and control others. Narcissism is a personality disorder characterized by a grandiose sense of self-importance, a lack of empathy, and with no remorse when exploiting others. Narcissists often use a variety of tactics to control and manipulate others, and we will be exploring some of these methods in this video. So, if you have ever dealt with a narcissist or suspect that someone in your life may be a narcissist, then this video is for you. It's interesting that no matter where in the world the narcissist is from, it's the same methods they use. This uniformity has given their methods names, and thereby it's easier to analyze and describe what they do and why they do it. It's also interesting that narcissists are trapped in a pattern where they repeat themselves again and again without any chance to break it or learn from their mistakes. Before we deep dive into the specific methods, let's get a short overview of how a narcissistic relationship generally proceeds. This pattern or process is surprisingly enough also the same all over the world. Number one is idealization phase, also called the love bombing or honeymoon phase. Here will the narcissist identify the victim's strengths, desires, dreams and weaknesses, and the narcissist will perform an approval of the victim. It's also in this phase the victim is placed on a pedestal and the false dream is presented. Phase 2 is the de-evaluation phase. Here the narcissist planted the hook in the victim. The victim has started to invest in the relationship and the false dream. When the narcissist turns the relationship around and pushes the victim off the pedestal, the victim will begin a journey and work hard to regain precision and return on the pedestal. This is, however, not possible. Instead, it will be a fight for the victim's soul and energy. Number 3 is the end of the relationship. The relationship will finally come to an end. Here there are several options, but the most seen is number 1, the narcissist found a better victim and has moved on. It can simply be a better victim arrived at the scene, or the narcissist was lacking narcissistic supply or had to go and look for a better victim. It can also be that the narcissist has failed and has chosen a victim that has been too strong and have too strong boundaries, and thereby they simply give up. The second is the narcissist has failed and the victim has had enough. Narcissists need their supply and do also have defects in the brain consequence sensor. It's in the same part that is handling empathy. In their hunger for control and supply, they often fail and push the victim over the breaking point. This especially happens if they have engaged in a relationship with an INFJ, where they will meet the famous door slam. The third one can be natural causes and luck. One of the two can pass away. Life is life, but maybe a friend or a good colleague with the right knowledge noticed what was going on and have taken an eye-opening talk with the victim and maybe shared a link to this channel. When a narcissistic relationship ends, the scenario can be very different, and it depends if there are children involved. It's also a factor who ends the relationship. The best scenario is if there are no children in the relationship and it was the narcissist that found another supply. If that's not the case, there's a high risk of hoovering and conflicts. As I mentioned in the beginning, narcissist has a fixed pattern they use to gain control over their victims. Throughout the relationship, the victims will feel like a rubber band that is stretched almost to the breaking point, and just before breaking, the narcissist will release the pressure before the tension is rebuilt. This circle of pressure and relief is repeated throughout the entire relationship. This method is called the push-pull method, and the narcissist uses it to push or break down the victim's mental barriers. Before a narcissist can gain control, the narcissist must break down the victim's defenses, and that happens in 5 steps. The 5 steps are as follows. Number 1, isolation. Degrading of the victim's external contact and support by limiting the victim's contact to friends, family, and other social relationships. Also, the victim's physical and financial freedom will be limited. Second, degradation of the victim's free will and self-image by destabilizing the victim's self-image, life values, and view of the world in general. This destabilization is performed through constant questions and challenging the victim, and by negative judgmental behavior. Number 3 is weakening the victim. At this step, will the narcissist undermine the victim's confidence to own thoughts, feelings, and view of reality, typically by using gaslighting, by denying facts and reality to bring the victim into a state of doubt and insecurity of own thoughts, feeling, and worldview. Number 4 is mind control. To gain mind control over the victim, the narcissist will ensure that there is a high communication flow and thereby create a situation where the victim's mind is concentrated on the narcissist. When implemented, the narcissist will create conflicts and punish the victim using humiliation and punishment. It can be by using passive aggression, like silent treatment and rejections. At this step, the narcissist will also implement rules and demand the victim to follow. The number 5 is terror. At this step, the narcissist will control the victim's thoughts, behaviors, and life in general. The narcissist will use threats, physical or physiological violence in all its forms. The narcissist will lower the pressure if the victim is close to a final breakdown and spice it all with short moments of happiness and pretend love to keep the victim in this crazy game. Now let's take a closer look at the methods used and start where it all begins. Love bombing is an interesting phase and includes a lot of combined techniques that can vary depending on what kind of narcissist you are dealing with. The overall pattern, synergies, and goal is, however, the same. The narcissist wants to lure you in and install the hook. The first thing a narcissist do is to show a high, intense interest in you. This deep interest can be flattering, but can also be uncomfortable. So the narcissist will either monitor your reactions and adjust the intensity, or simply run you over with intense, persistent interest. It is flattering when a person has a deep interest in you as a person. The narcissist will know all about you. This is not limited to your daily interest, but include your deepest thoughts, and not at least your dreams, desires, and life goals. This interest in your person is, however, not honest. During the process, the narcissist will mirror your desires and dreams. They will simply take the information you provided and write themselves into your dreams for the future. By saying and doing all the right things, they can project that your dreams and desires can actually come true. Even dreams and desires you have found difficult or impossible to reach seem subtly possible. The narcissist will spice the process by announcing that you are their soulmate or guardian angel and the person they have always been looking for. They have never met a person like you, and well, neither have you. Or maybe you have, but that's another story. Back to the love bombing topic. The development of the relationship goes fast. really fast. The communication is intense and they quickly share their personal details, and so do you, to create balance. Their personal details are, however, often false or modified and just a game to open your vulnerabilities. When you open up, they show an interest in your biggest worries and fears. It will probably be delivered as a direct question in the middle of a conversation where the flow is floating. If you react negatively to this dark cloud on a shiny day, the narcissist will quickly let the topic go and change the topic and bring the honeymoon back on track. This is, however, not the only dark cloud. In the love bombing phase, you can get more information by watching video number 1, the narcissistic relationship, on this channel. As I mentioned in the beginning, the mirroring technique can deviate depending on what kind of narcissist you are dealing with. If the situation is involving an extrovert narcissist, the energy will be high and intense. Gifts and flowers and dinners can be on the daily menu. The love bombing phase with the extroverted narcissist will often be a mix of high activity, positive energy, interrupted the shocking episodes, where the extrovert narcissist shows an intense vulnerability to create a caring feeling from the victim. If the situation is involving an introvert narcissist, things are slightly different. The relationship still moves fast, but not with the speed and intensity as the extrovert narcissist. The introvert narcissists are in general using the same script, but are due to the lack of internal energy, this type are more prone to play on the protective and empathic sides of their victims. You can get more information by watching the video number 2 on our channel. In general, the love bombing period is a fantastic period where things move fast and you don't get the feet on the ground. Soon you are floating on the cloud of love, the future looks bright, and you are put on the pedestal, and you can't believe how lucky you are, and it feels great. Now let's jump to the next topic, gaslighting. Gaslighting is an act of manipulation, manipulating someone into doubting their own perception of reality. Narcissists use gaslighting to make their victims question their own sanity and to make them feel like they are losing their grip on reality. This tactic is often used to make the victim feel like they are the problem and to deflect attention away from the narcissist's own behavior. Gaslighting can be incredibly damaging to a person's mental health and can leave them feeling confused and isolated. Shortly, gaslighting has the purpose to implement doubt in the victim's perception of reality and self-image. There are many variants of gaslighting. First example is that never happened, and narcissists will challenge your perception of reality by denying that situation. Often a negative situation took place or simply reframe what happened. If you address the situation from your perspective, the narcissist will often take the gaslighting one step further and blame you for being crazy or too sensitive. It's not only gaslighting, but also blame shifting. But we'll come to that topic later. Back to the examples of gaslighting. The narcissist will try to break down your positive life values. It will manifest as negative comments. If, for example, your life values is to be being funny or have a high level of empathy, the narcissist will state that you are not funny and that you are acting selfish in many situations. Also, a common gaslighting technique is to blame your memory. It can be small things such as the narcissist move around on your car keys and phone and then blame you when you can't find them. But it can also be claiming that you have said or done things you have not, or stating that you have promised to do some certain things and then addressing that you are forgetful. Maybe they will even pretend they are worried of the situation. The goal for the narcissist is to create stress and make you question your own sanity, reality, and memory. As mentioned earlier, gaslighting is extremely damaging, especially if the narcissist use gaslighting plus, where they use other people to confirm the false reality. Which brings us to the next topic, triangulation. Triangulation is an often used tactic by narcissists when creating drama and conflicts in their victim's life. Triangulation involves bringing a third party into a relationship or situation to create tension and confusion. Narcissists often use triangulations to make their victims feel insecure, jealous, or boost control and manipulation. Triangulation can be used in different forms. It can be direct by using a third person to confirm a false reality created by the narcissist. In this situation, the third person is conscious and knowledgeable and active in the process supporting the narcissist manipulation. The motivation for the third person can vary. They can have been manipulated by the narcissist. They can be persons that are drawn to conflicts, or it can be that they are narcissists themselves. No matter, we are here talking about a position of what we call flying monkeys. We will have a closer look at flying monkeys later in this video. Another form is when a narcissist uses a third person in an indirect way, which means that the person is not directly involved. Here is often the narcissistic X that is used, and often to raise expectations and make the victim work harder for the relationship and move boundaries. It can be by simple statements such as, "I'm used to this standard from my ex-partner, so I expect the same from you, if you want to make this relationship work." Another situation is when the narcissist tells you that a third person has said something negative about you or your behavior when you don't have the option to communicate directly with the third person. It can be a statement from the narcissist that they have a conversation with one of their colleagues about a situation you and the narcissist had, and the colleague takes the narcissist's side in the discussion. It's often a lie. It can also be true that the narcissist had a talk with the colleague. But when it occurs only with information provided and filtered by the narcissist. Common for all indirect methods is that it's difficult for the victim to get confirmation of reality from the third person. Triangulation can be incredibly damaging to a person's mental health. Your boundaries, self-worth, and worldview is under pressure when the narcissist uses a third person to back up their manipulation. And talking about manipulation, it's now time to jump to the next method, moving the goalpost. A narcissist will, during the relationship, set you up for an never-ending chase to make the relationship work. They will tell you that the relationship is not perfect for them. Maybe they will state that it's nearly perfect, but there is just this one thing. This one thing is, of course, something you have to do or change. It will typically start with minor topics that you feel is doable and in a lower level. So you are willing to do it and to contribute to the relationship by meeting the requests. What you will discover is that when you deliver on the request and think you have reached the goal, the narcissist will in best case be happy for a short while, in some cases only minutes, and then bring up option 2, either stating that the delivery was not good enough and you have to do it better, or as often present you with a new and higher task or goal for you to reach. This will go on and on the entire relationship, and you will never reach a final goal, due to that it simply doesn't exist. All the tasks and goals presented are empty, and the narcissist's hidden agenda is to send you on a journey where your mind constantly is focused on the narcissist and the relationship. Every time you think you have reached the goal, the ending line has simply moved. The narcissist will ensure you will have the goal in sight, but you will never reach it. If the narcissist at some point has failed and raised a demand that is too high, or you are close to give up, the narcissist will lower the bar until you will start to chase it again. It's a crazy game you have been lured into, and the narcissists do this for several reasons. First, they will, as I already mentioned, ensure your mental focus is on them and the relationship, so you provide them with what they want. But most important, your brain will also be busy. So busy that you don't get the time to stop up and evaluate the relationship. If you did, then you will discover that you are the only one that is contributing and the relationship is very unbalanced. They can simply not match their own requests. You have become the giver and they have taken the role as taker. After some time playing this unhealthy game, you will even by yourself start to search for and do things that you think will make the narcissist happy. The result will be the same. You will never reach a final goal. They have taken the position as the king or queen, and you are now the servant. This crazy mind game will not only set the roles in the relationship and make you work hard, but it will also undermine your self-esteem, which brings us to the next topic, name-calling. Name-calling is an often overseen tactic used by narcissists. Narcissists will often early in the relationship, at the lump-bombing de-evaluation phase, introduce a nickname to their partner. It can be nicknames as "my little fool" or similar. Due to the timing of introducing the nickname, the partner will often not identify the negative value the nickname carry. And that is a sign of blatant disrespect from the narcissist. The nickname will be used as one of the tools in the de-evaluation process and degradation of the victim via the subconscious mind. The next topic we will have a closer look at is stonewalling. What is stonewalling? Stonewalling is a behavior pattern where the narcissist withdraws from an interaction, shutting down communication and ceasing to respond to their partner. It's a form of emotional blockage that can prevent issues from being resolved and can severely impact the health of a relationship. Narcissists use stonewalling to avoid discussions about their behavior and topics that may portray them in a negative light or where they feel vulnerable. It's also used to control the flow of communication by dictating when and if a conversation will continue. Third is punish their partner by withholding affection and communication, particularly if their authority is challenged or their opinion disregarded with. The effects on the victim, the impact of stonewalling on the victim can be devastating. Let's break down these effects. The first is feeling invalidated. Victims feel ignored and unimportant, as if their feelings and thoughts don't matter. Second is increased anxiety and stress. The lack of closure and continuous uncertainty about the state of the relationship can lead to significant emotional distress. Third is damaging self-esteem. Over time, being consistent stonewalled can make victims doubt their words and question their own perceptivity. Number 4 is isolation. This tactic can leave victims feeling alone and helpless, exacerbating feelings of abandonment and loneliness. You will probably recognize this method used from situations where the narcissist refused to engage in conversation for hours or even 1 to 3 days. This method is from the box of passive aggression and are in the family with the next method we shall have a look at. Silent treatment. If the time frame of silence from the narcissist exceeds 1 to 3 days, we are no longer talking about stonewalling, but silent treatment. The narcissist refuses to engage in any kind of conversation, but stays close to you. They are physically present, but cold. Often in this situation is the situation triggered by an event the narcissist dislike, but it can also pop up out of the blue without any identified cause. They will often appear angry, and you have no doubt that it is you they have the anger at. You will try anything to break the situation, maybe even apologize for things you didn't do or have any ownership in. But all communication is impossible. There is only silence. This silence will go on for many days, weeks, in extreme cases, even months. In some cases, the narcissist will even in pre-hand have informed the victim that they can get so mad that they can't talk. And if it happens, you shall just leave them alone. They do not do that so you are prepared if the situation occurs, but so they are in control of when the silence stops. The method has two main purposes. One is exercise control over the emotional climate of the relationship by using silence as a weapon. Second is to inflict emotional pain without physical confrontation. And it is painful. The effect on victims is enormous. Emotional distress, feelings of worthlessness, increased internal conflict, and damage to trust and immediacy. Silent treatment is extremely painful. I tried it myself, and I know how devastating it can be. Silent treatment is from the top box of passive aggression, and if you have experienced it, it's time to pack your gear and get your shoes on. This is not something that can be settled afterwards. You must leave. Be aware that we are not talking about a time period of 1 to 3 days where a normal person needs to some time to rethink. But if you're reaching 1 to 3 weeks or more, it's time. As I mentioned in the beginning, in these situations, the narcissist stays close to you doing the silent treatment. If the narcissist is not close to you but has left and you don't know where they are, we are not talking about silent treatment, but about the next topic, ghosting. Ghosting is more a condition than a method, but I will include it anyway. It's common for narcissists to disappear for a shorter or a long time period. They can be gone for days or weeks without you knowing where they are or being able to get in contact with them. They are just poof, gone. Suddenly they can return like nothing happened. They act like they had just been gone for 10 minutes, picking up some groceries. There's no explanation where they have been or doing. Often they just return as nothing has happened. When you address the situation, they often ignore or refuse to talk. In best case, you will get a short and superficial explanation without any deeper explanation. What has happened is that the narcissist has been working on a new victim. It might went wrong, or the new victim is not 100% ready for the narcissist to take over yet. Do yourself a favor and kick them out. Let's have a look at the next one. Guilt tripping and shaming. Narcissists are extremely vulnerable to criticism and will do anything to avoid the process of internally admit mistakes and flaws, take ownerships or responsibility. They simply cannot do it. They are way too vulnerable and fragile. At the other hand, they have no problem using guilt tripping on others. They will misuse your positive life values and empathy to get what they want, simply by manipulating you, using this method by making you responsible for their happiness and get what they want. The strategy includes 1. Emotional empathy, imposing a sense of obligation by suggesting that not fulfilling a request would cause them emotional harm or disappointment. 2 is victim blaming. The narcissist portrays themselves as the victim, suggesting that they will suffer or have suffered unduly because of the other person's actions or inactions. 3 is comparison and shaming, making unfavorable comparisons to others or shaming you for their perceived shortcomings or failure to meet expectations. The impact of being subject to guilt tripping can have deeply damage. It includes reduced self-esteem. Frequent guilt tripping can lead you to doubt your worth and decision-making abilities. Increased anxiety. The constant pressure to meet someone else's expectation can result in high-ended anxiety and stress. Emotional exhaustion. The ongoing emotional manipulation can leave individuals feel drained and hopeless. Dealing with the narcissist guilt tripping is an endless game and just a little part of their game to break you down, control you, and make you work hard. Guilt tripping is often combined with the next method. Let's have a look at it. Blame shifting. Seeing the day where a narcissist takes responsibility and ownership for their mistakes, bad actions, and behavior will never arise. Narcissists are mostly far from being intellectual masterminds. Most of them are intellectually lazy and cannot handle larger amounts of information in a case. Without the skills to thinking in gray zones and see the case from all sides, they jump into fast conclusions. This behavior, combined with their limitations in consequence evaluation, do that they often end up in taking poor decisions. And poor decisions have consequences. When you confront the narcissist and address the situation, the narcissist will reject your view of the situation and facts, turning things around and just put a label on you as the crazy one. But often you will be met with blame shifting. Blame shifting is often used combined with other techniques such as projection and guilt tripping. Let's have a closer look at the different techniques. Number one is the narcissist raise the victim card. It can be in a scenario where the narcissist has not treated you fair and you address the situation. So here we will have a situation where you are the victim. Now, the narcissist will always be the greatest victim. Do not feel empathy and cannot bear shame. So the reaction will be that you did something first that made them do what they did. They can bring up past situations where you should have done something to them or something completely irrelevant. Number two is they minimize your feelings. It can be in a situation where they have hurt your feelings. When you address the situation, the narcissist will blame you and claim that you are too sensitive, overreacting, crazy or hysterical. The situation has now changed from what they did to how you reacted. And the conversation will now continue focusing on your sensitivity. Ironically, there is no one that is more sensitive than narcissists. 3 is argue against the argument. In this situation, the narcissist will not even enter a dialogue regarding the issue. Instead, the narcissist will attack the way you talk to them. The conversation will end up in a situation, a meta-discussion, where the narcissist will blame and accuse you of doing the things the narcissists do. Here, they will often combine with gaslighting and projection. Shortly, it can be a situation where the narcissist does something completely unacceptable. Instead of taking responsibility, the narcissist will accuse you for being aggressive, and it has to be corrected. Maybe even with assistance from a psychologist. Number 4 is guilt-tripping pity stories. Here they will play on your empathy instead of apologizing for their behavior. They will respond with some pity stories and often lies. It can be all from their awful childhood or what some awful ex did to them. And before you evaluate the situation, you have shifted from your anger to being the one that comforts them. If you are on the empath spectrum, you will probably recognize this situation. We all go through tough times of life, but healthy people will not use them as excuses to behave badly towards other people. Many people ask themselves, how did I end up in this situation? And especially after, why did I accept and didn't see the negative development in this unhealthy relationship? A part of the answer lies in the next method, boiling the frog. The method is named after an experiment with frogs that showed that if you put a frog in a container with hot water, the frog will jump out of the hot water instantly. But the experiment also showed that if you place a frog in well-tempered water and then slowly raise the temperature, the frog will adjust, stay, and end up boiling to death. What a narcissist does in a relationship is exactly the same as in the experiment, turning up the heat of manipulation and psychological violence slowly, so you will not discover what is going on. In the beginning, you will be overbearing and find excuses, but gradually your boundaries will also be moved. Boiling the frog typically develops in 5 phases. Phase number 1, slowly escalation. Our journey begins with the understanding of the initial phase, where the narcissist introduces small, seemingly harmless actions. These might include mild criticism or subtle controls over decisions. Just as a frog does not react to slowly warming water, the victim may not notice the starting signs of the manipulation and dismiss them all as insignificant. Phase 2, normalization of behavior. As the water temperature rises, the behavior escalates, but so gradually that it becomes the new normal. The narcissist may increase their demands, criticize more harshly, and start gaslighting their victims. The aim is to gradually erode the victim's confidence and sense of reality, making them more subject to further manipulation. Phase 3, increased dependency. In this critical phase, the narcissist alters behavior, affection, and coldness. Such intimate reinforcement create a psychological dependency. The victim crave the narcissist's approval and affection, find themselves increasingly tied to the narcissist, unsure of their own judgments and perceptions. Phase 4, isolation. The narcissist may begin isolating their victims from friends, family, criticize these relationships, and highlighting faults, real or imagined. Isolation makes the victim more dependent on the narcissist for social interaction and support. Further intervention, the manipulation control. 5, control and dominance. By this final stage, the narcissist control is implemented and the true nature becomes more overtly abusive. However, the victim may feel trapped, unable to see a way out due to the emotional connection that has been undergoing on the development of the relationship, much like the meta frog in the boiling the water. So as you can see, it's very difficult to see the process in the boiling a frog, and it's normally too late when you find out. Let's have a look at the next method, which is word salad. Word salad is also known as conversation from hell. It's used a lot, unfortunately also by non-narcissists. If you have ever watched television where a politician is provided an uncomfortable question from a journalist, you will experience this word salad technique. The answer will in best case start up lighter, relevant, but quickly evolve into something completely out of topic and end up in a long, irrelevant nonsense. No matter how insisting the journalist will be, the same record of nonsense will be repeated. Narcissists often use this method when they are caught off guard and the evidence is strong. Exposed to this technique can be very frustrating and confusing. Now, let's have a look at flying monkeys. Flying monkeys are often used after the relationship have come to an end, and the narcissist has lost direct control over you. The method is related to triangulation and is a situation where a narcissist uses another person to impact you. It can be shared friends and even family members. The narcissist will use others to gather information on you, send hidden messages, and influence you by causing doubt. causing a situation where you can question your reality and the history of the past or existing relationship. As mentioned, it's often used after the end of the relationship, and there might be some more people you need to cut off besides the narcissist. The method is also often seen on workplaces where a narcissist can use flying monkeys to maintain control, cause stress, frustration, and chaos. Talking of the end of the relationship also brings us to the next topic: missing closure. After a normal relationship, it's normal to sit down and have a talk and settle the situation. This is called a closure. Now, a narcissistic relationship is so far from normal relationships as it can be, and this includes the end of the relationship. Narcissists can and will not participate in a close-up conversation, and there are several reasons. First, their lack of empathy. Second, their feelings of entitlement as the king or queen. Next, their vulnerability. But the most important reason is that they want to keep a door open. It can be complicating to move on after an ended relationship without the closure talk. There are simply too many loose ends. And the narcissist needs an open door to get narcissistic supply and exploit you if they get in need, but also if they fail with their new victim and wants to return to you for a second round of narcissistic madness. Talking of a second round brings us to the next topic: hoovering. Hoovering is a tactic used to lure you back in the relationship. If the narcissist succeeds, everything will be as before, just worse. If you have shown the narcissist that you are ready for a second round of pain and frustration. The name of this tactic comes from a vacuum cleaner, and it is exactly what is going to happen. They will pick you up as dirt, lure you in by using the knowledge they collected in the first round, play all the positive cards, reopen the false dreams, and try to convince you that all will be fine this time. It will never happen. Don't fall for their lies, gifts, and new created charm. If you have not already done it, then go no contact today. Let's remember what a narcissist is. A narcissist fulfills and lives by the 3 E's. Entitlement. Narcissists see themselves as king or queens, expecting everybody around them as servants. Exploration. Narcissists exploit everybody around them, causing chaos, frustration, and pain. Feed on narcissistic supply. Exploit you financially and emotionally. Lack of empathy. They have no remorse. They can't feel other people, and they see you as a 5-year-old see its toys. I hope this video provides you with some information about the inside knowledge of their methods, and you can use the content to provide you with some clearance of what you have experienced. That's all for now. Feel free to use the comment field below to discuss your experience. What was the worst method you experienced? For me, it was without a doubt silent treatment. Keep a sober tone and stay in touch. See you in the next video.